And she keeps banging it along. Still ahead on Let's Talk Live, we will be making some fresh and tasty dishes that are made with seasonal and local vegetables. So stick around to see how you can support our local farmers by being mindful of what you put on the dinner table. And make sure you follow us on Twitter, too. We do live tweets during the show, and we will post some great behind-the-scenes photos. What food grows in your region, and then you've got to figure out what to cook. So here to help answer some of those questions is Oliver Friendly. He is the executive chef at Eat and Smile Catering. Love that name.
Thank
the
you.
First locally sourced caterer in the D.C. area, and he's going to prepare a dish for us using local seasonal vegetables.
Yes,
It smells
indeed.
good in here.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. We're starting off with a gazpacho. Tomatoes are just starting to come into season, and they'll really come in sort of early June into July. Gazpacho is really easy to make as a soup. It's mostly just putting stuff into a blender, and just making sure you get the best tomatoes, cucumbers, local shallots, and then season it properly. And we're going to actually top it off with a little bit of our basil that we get from a local hydroponics grower. So we actually get this year-round. And it's a great way to eat local. She uses less than 10% of the water of an outdoor growing operation. And yeah, like you're saying, the smell is just so fresh and bright, and you just want to put just a little bit right on top, and the soup is ready to go. And what's just started out with the market is our asparagus. And it's going to run for the next 6 to 8 weeks, so you got to get it while you can.
It's a good time to buy asparagus.
Absolutely. And I love to put it on a grill. I think the charred flavor works really well in there. So today what we're going to do is a grilled asparagus salad. We're going to do a cherry tomato salsa fresca with some grilled lemon and a crostini, a little bit of pickled shallots, and some local sheep smoked cheese. So the first thing I'm going to do is start to make a really quick vinaigrette. We're just going to take a little bit of mustard, throw that in.
And that's not just any mustard, is that Dijon?
That is Dijon mustard, although you can, if you like something else, if you like sort of a honey mustard or more of a grain mustard, totally fine. And then we're going to add a mix of canola oil and extra virgin olive oil.
I'm glad you brought this up, because in my house we're having a debate about which is healthier, canola versus olive oil. And I'm on the olive oil side, my husband's on the canola oil side, so settle this, please.
Well, not to take sides as I married myself and realized the danger there. You are correct in that olive oil has much more of a nutritional value. There's more vitamins and minerals in olive oil than in straight canola oil. The downside of olive oil is it is very flavorful. There's a lot of olive flavor in it.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to make a salad dressing and you don't want it to taste too olivey, using a more neutral oil like canola works better.
I think that's my husband's objection. It's too strong. The flavor's too strong.
And that's why we do the blend.
I was going to say that is a great solution. Just put the two together.
So basically, all I've done is taken that grilled up lemon bit, and I've thrown in the oil and the mustard. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of squeeze of fresh lemon juice. And you just want to make sure that when you squeeze the lemons, you don't want the seeds to get in there.
Watch the seeds.
Watch the seeds. They're very, very bitter, other than also being very hard to chew. And that's going to loosen up our salad dressing just a little bit. We're going to take our cherry tomatoes, and you can actually, most cherry tomatoes are so delicate, they'll just chop right in the palm of your hand.
Are these different varieties of tomatoes here?
These are a number of different kinds. We actually have a grower in Maryland who grows 19 different kinds of heirloom cherry tomatoes. We've got Purple Hearts, which are these sort of darker, almost purple color. The yellows are called yellow pear, and when they go to full size, they'll actually, you can see they're starting to there, but it'll start to get thicker at the bottom and actually start to look like a pear. And then we've got sort of, I think these are sweet 100s. Which add a really nice sort of non-acid sweetness to the tomatoes.
The goal is to have various types of tomatoes so that you can have that variety in the
Absolutely.
Flavoring. Okay.
And then I'm just going to really lightly dress the tomatoes and just do a nice sort of scoop onto the asparagus. There we go.
Oh, that's great.
And then a little bit over here. And now you can, if you really like the dressing, you're welcome to sort of take a little extra, sort of dress the plate up a little bit. What I think a lot of people at home sort of don't realize is that the more attractive your food is on the plate, the better it will actually taste to you.
Does it really make
It really does. Your brain connects the visual of what you're about to eat to the flavor. So if food arrives and it just looks like somebody kind of threw it onto the plate, it's going to taste like somebody kind of threw it onto the plate. But if you just take 30 seconds and go, okay, well, how can I line up the asparagus and do a little dressing? And then we've got these pickled shallots, and this is just vinegar, sugar, and water.
Okay, we're going to have to break
Sure.
away because we have a press conference that's happening in Arkansas right now with Arkansas Governor. Recovery continues there. He was really singing the praises of state agencies who have responded, saying that they've done a great job. He talked about hearing from the president as well as the director of Homeland Security. It says that FEMA is on the ground. He called Arkansas residents resilient and says that they are helping their neighbors. So we will keep you updated on that story. But right now we're going to turn our attention back to Chef Oliver Friendly, who is really whipping up some delicious, healthy, local food for us here. So we have our asparagus, and you gave us this delicious tomato dressing that goes over it. And so now what's next?
Well, we put the pickled shallots on, and then just to finish, we want to do a little bit of seasoning of just a little bit of salt and pepper. And that really is to personal taste. Some people like a little more, some want a little bit less. We're just going to do.
You were talking about how the presentation of your food can really make it taste better, and I have now determined that that is where I'm falling short. Maybe that's why my food is not so tasty, because it doesn't look good enough. What do you think?
I hesitate to wade into those waters, but I would say that, just spending about 20 or 30 seconds thinking about what the food is going to look like on the plate, and just taking a moment, the asparagus looks nice diagonally, having the bright colors on top, and the shallots take on sort of a nice kind of pink red color, again bringing a little more to the plate.
Color counts.
Color counts, absolutely.
If you've got the green asparagus, you need a contrast.
Absolutely. And with the asparagus, we've got sort of a bitter, earthy, and grilled flavor. And so we want to provide a little bit of acid, and we've got that with the tomatoes. And then a little bit of sweetness, and we've got that with the pickled shallots. And then we've got some local sheep's milk cheese. It's sort of a manchego style.
How do you pick the cheese? There's so many different kinds of cheese out there.
Again, a lot comes back to your taste. Some people really hate blue cheese. This, for example, is a rather aromatic aged sheep's cheese. And you'll see the taste is a little more mild, and that tends to be true to most cheeses, that if it has a very strong smell, the flavor is going to be like that, but a bit more reduced.
And you don't want it to compete too much with the food that you're
Exactly.
serving?
You want it to all sort of get together and sing a song together. You don't want there to be one voice that's too loud. You want it all to harmonize.
All right. Chef Oliver, it is singing a song.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Coming up, Arch Campbell will be giving us his take on the movies hitting the theaters this summer, so stay with us to find out what movies